going on, everyone? It is episode 194, recorded on this cold Sunday, snowy morning, January 7th, 2024. I'm Drew, and hey, John, what does the receptionist at a sperm bank say as clients leave? Thanks for coming.
It's Mario. You're listening to the Dads After Dark Show podcast. And now, your hosts, John and Drew. Let's go. Wahoo!
On tonight's show, Season 5 is upon us. What does that mean? You'll find out shortly. Chubby's bracket is back and ready to shed some weight. And we're going to take a little bit at our favorite anticipation, predictions, a little bit of what's coming forward for 2024. John, Happy New Year, buddy. How you been? I have COVID and it fucking sucks.
You don't look as bad as I expected you to, but I'm looking at Drew now and he's got this goatee and I thought it was intentional, but apparently that's how it grows in. If you look at this, Drew, I need to shave. I haven't shaved in a while. Mm-hmm. And I'm almost growing a real beard, which is not my intention, and that is natural right there. You see it?
I'm going to take a picture because I feel like it doesn't show up as well on the on my camera, my PC shitty. So I'm going to send you a picture, and then I'll let you see if it's. But I agree.
The camera accentuates.
It does. I did more of a goatee going on than the full beard, but that's okay. Yeah, I will say. Go ahead.
Oh, no. No, go ahead. I was
going to say the last 2 days I have felt like death. It hit me quick and hard. And then this morning I woke up. I told you I might not even want a podcast, but I've been isolating myself from the family in the toy room, which, don't get me wrong, I have the air mattress, got my little Christmas Nintendo tree. I still up. I got my TV and I got everything I need, but it's like, how long can you sit in one room forever?
Yeah, it's fun for a day. It starts to feel gross.
The first day was great. I had the sports going on my iPad. I had Avatar playing on the TV. It was nice and quiet. I would get a cup of coffee and just relax. But then it's like, all right, I've literally have done those exact same things the last 3 days. I've watched every NBA game, every NFL game, every NHL game that have all been televised. I've been catching up on some of my TV shows. It's just like, you're right. I'm just kind of... I'm ready to be unisolated, and to be honest, it's going to be a few more days. That's the shitty part.
Well, you got football today. Maybe you need to marathon something. You need to pick a show and just marathon it.
Well, I've been waiting to watch Wheel of Time season 2. I'm a big fan of that series. So,
well, then you can watch it.
Yeah, I did catch up on Monarch. Love that show.
Oh yeah, that's the Godzilla one.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's not. It is the Godzilla one. I wouldn't say Godzilla is the focus, but it's a good show.
It's a weird name for the show because when I hear it, I just think of like some period piece British thing, Monarch. Like I don't think, that's the Godzilla thing. Okay.
It's actually really good. You might actually like it. It's more about the company,
right? It's just don't get me wrong. I don't think of it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a good treadmill show. I think it's a good treadmill show.
My son went to go see the Godzilla -1 movie.
I wanted to. Yeah.
He came back and he was like, "It's the best movie I've ever seen."
Oh my God! Did he know it was in subtitles?
Well, I don't know because I didn't know it was subtitles until you just mentioned it.
It is.
But he was like, I mean, he's 16 or whatever, but he's seen some movies and he was like, that's the best movie I've ever seen. So I think he's starting to get into Godzilla. They watched the second Godzilla at a friend's house like the week prior. I have a feeling he's going to start watching all the Godzilla movies and be one of those guys.
Didn't you watch them with me a couple of years ago, like the newer franchise with Goldman?
No, you were into it more. I was going to marathon all of them from beginning to end. I actually got a list and was like, because I think a lot of them are on Max. And I never really got to it. I have seen the first Godzilla, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind watching them. But
watch the latest 3. I could get you the names of them, but this is what the show kind of follows. They talked about G-Day, which is Godzilla Day, and like it happened in 2015 when it attacked like San Francisco and stuff, and then like
G-Day.
this show is like the aftermath of that and
Right.
how they deal with it, and yeah, it's cool.
Restoring the bonds and the therapy.
Yeah. So what else been on? How was your holiday? How was your Christmas break? Any good Christmas gifts or anything like that?
Yeah, holiday was good. I got this guy right here. I got the Piranha Plant.
Oh, that was a fun build.
Which, I mean, I didn't ask for it, so it was kind of a surprise, actually. Nice. And then that was a kind of a fun build. And then one of my New Year's, this is funny, one of my New Year's resolutions for last year was to get to 1800 rating on Lee Chess, which is where I play.
Oh, that's right.
And I got like I told you from the last episode, I got my wife's iPad Pro.
Oh, yeah.
And so I started training up for it. And then it was like last weekend, it was the end of the Christmas break. I was doing some prep, studying some openings, some defenses or whatever, because I knew I was at 1768. And if I lost a game or two, I would fall back. And I didn't want to just go in cold and stupid. And so I did some prep. And then that Saturday, I was like, all right, I'm going to spend today playing chess online, try to get 1800. Drew, I won both games that I played. Both were tough. I mean, they're tough. And it got me over the top. And they're tough. You're playing people at that level, and it's a hard, it's like, I just want to play easy people. And you can't.
Yeah.
And I got to say, the game that put me over the top might have been my best mate ever. Really? I can't really describe it, but it was like a queen rook roll that didn't go towards the edge of the board. It actually went towards my guys. And I was so impressed when I saw it. It came after the guy made a move I did not expect, but I realized it was because it was a dumb move. So I made 1800. I haven't played chess since, but I'm going to try to squeeze some in later today.
So where do you play? Is this like just a chess website or?
It's lichess.org.
Okay.
It's there's tons of features on there. It's a lot of fun. They have a good little opening trainer and stuff. I've been playing with that one for like over a decade now. Obviously off and on. I've gone years without playing any games on there, but so my resolution this year is to make it to 1900. That's I don't want to get too crazy, right?
So like if you played like 5-6 games in a row and won every one, would you just go straight to 1900? Like how many points do you get for winning a match?
Probably not 5 or 6. It depends on who you play and what their rating is, but you can gain like 25 points. If I played somebody about my rating right now, it's probably going to get less and less. It would take me a while.
I don't 5 or 6 in a row is also very hard.
I've been on a pretty good streak. I've been playing my best chess this year, which is weird. I was mostly playing in March before I lost my eyesight. And then I really didn't get back to it until December. But yeah, no, it's streaky. Chess is streaky. When you play people that are around the same level as you, you can win and you can lose. It just comes down to like one bad move that you try not to make. Nice. But I don't have any aspirations. I would someday like to get back into tournament chess and play with like Sebastian, because he's the most interested in chess of my kids, and have him enter tournaments and whatever, as long as he can handle losing, which is going to happen. That would be fun to do. So maybe we can, go down to the Springs, play in a tournament. I think that'd be pretty cool. If you've ever seen the movie, Where's Bobby Fischer? God, what's the name of that movie? Searching for Bobby Fischer. Sorry,
a long time ago.
Yeah, Searching for Bobby Fischer is such a romanticized version of chess to me. It's like chess porn. It's great. And then like the guy takes his kid, who's Josh Waitzkin, he's a real player and extremely good. Took him around doing chess tournaments and whatever. And it's like, I would love to do that. That would be so much fun. So that's what that's what I want to do. And then today is Bronco Day, final game of the year. It's a big game in Denver because we haven't had a winning record since 2016. And we'd all like to beat the Raiders, a team we haven't beaten in a few years, and get a winning record. It would be a nice end to the season if possible with our new quarterback. So I got my friends coming over. We're buying some wings. I'm making ribs. Michelle made fresh macaroni salad last night, so it's going to be a
Oh,
fun little day.
man, wish I was within the area. Well, maybe I wouldn't with COVID, but it sounds delicious.
Yeah, oh, it's gonna be a good time. In
Yeah,
fact, this show is hard. We have a hard stop at in about an hour and a half because I have to make the ribs. So
good. And that way I won't lose my voice or lose my concentration, I guess. Like your head's just a fog, and it's just sometimes. But I also got to
it's
go
a
outside and snow blow at some point. It's gonna suck.
oh, that's gonna be tough. Send Amy out. Have her do it.
She would, but like, I mean, I have a huge snowblower, and I feel bad making her do it.
I have a huge snowblower.
Huge
Sorry.
snowblower.
I have a huge snowblower.
Listen, you can make anything dirty.
Oh my God.
Um,
Mecca said something to Tim in the Discord a couple days ago that I literally laughed out loud in my office. It was pretty good. I'd have to find it. All right.
over shutdown, Goomba had surgery, John.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, like the dentist, right?
He had dental surgery. He got 4 teeth removed.
Oh.
2 of his molars, which had to get stitches, and then his 2 front teeth, the little Goomba teeth. But then I realized he looks even more like a Goomba now because he's missing his 2 front teeth, and it's like his little fangs, and it's incredible.
Yes.
He's doing good. He's getting old. John.
He's an
So,
old Goomba.
he's
Pets and their
13.
teeth are kind of a nightmare because, like, we don't
I
really
know.
brush our cat's teeth. You're
You
supposed
can't.
to.
I know, but
How
it's
many people
hard.
do? It's
Who
hard. They
wants
don't
to?
like
They're
it.
not gonna No.
Yeah, they don't want to do
You know,
it.
I had a question about your cats, but now I don't remember it. It will come to me one episode.
They are still
It was
alive.
more about cats in general, but I don't think I remember now.
If you remember, let me know.
I will.
I'm here to answer all of your cat needs.
Yes. All right.
All right. Is this where we do the Manscaped ad? Can I do it?
Go
Or do
for
we
it.
do it? We do it later. I'll do it right now.
Do it
I'm gonna
now.
do it to save Drew's voice. Not that he's gonna stop talking anyway, but
No.
cheers to the new year from our friends at Manscaped, because your resolutions shouldn't be the only things that are well kept. 2024 is the time for new heights, new opportunities, and a new look for your Times Square balls. Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Whether you're looking to maintain a trim or go for that clean-shaven look, this trimmer has you covered, trusted by over 10 million men worldwide, too, right here. Now is
That's
your
right.
time to get a grip on your grooming with our exclusive offer. And we all know it. Go to manscaped.com and use code NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping. Happy New Year, or Happy New Balls.
Ah, I'm
That's great.
actually in the market. I had to make a new order. I need some more shampoo, and then the deodorant that I've been using. Like, I think they stopped making it during COVID, and I had like 2. Deodorant lasts a long time, I feel like, so I had like 2 extra ones, and it's finally starting to come to an end. So in one of our packages that we got from Manscaped, I used their deodorant, and I don't hate it. So maybe
the
maybe I'll
job.
use their deodorant now and their shampoo going forward.
At one point, Amy's going to go, "Why do your armpits smell like your balls?"
And I'm gonna be like, well, why are you licking both?
Oh.
Oh,
All right, let's move on to what we've been playing. Last 4 weeks edition, I guess, because we didn't really talk about this in the Game of the Year episode, and we've had a few week break, so we've got a bunch here. But I want to start off with Jackbox Party Pack 7.
yes,
We both played this during Christmas break.
we did.
I played this New Year's Eve with the
So did
family.
I.
That's become our tradition. And this is the first party pack for Jack, because I've been down. I haven't bought a lot of the new ones because every time I buy one, I feel like there's 1 or maybe 2 games at most, and then I'm unimpressed with everything else.
Mhm.
This was the first one I enjoyed. Not all my family, but I enjoyed every one of the games. What did you think about it? Do we want to go through the games real quick?
Well, I want to highlight a couple of them at least. So how much did you pay for this?
It was on sale for 40% off. I can't remember what I
Well,
paid for it, but it was a 40% off discount, which helped
So
influence me.
I actually played through Luna, John, because I don't know if you did know this, but you can get
I know it.
every Jackbox Party Pack for a $4.99 subscription. So for $5,
Right.
I can play any of them. And I said, well, let's just do that because maybe we'll jump around between different ones. But then,
Right.
like you said, we ended up playing almost just every one on Pat 7. And then by then time, the kids lost interest in whatever they were doing and came back. But yeah, there was
Yeah.
2 of them that I really liked that I remembered. I think the last one we played, and I don't know the names, forgive me, I should probably pull them up.
I know the names.
All right, good. The one where you had to get people to guess what your item was, and you only could use words that they
Yeah.
used to guess. What was that one called?
Blather round.
That was incredible. That was probably one of our, if not our favorite game.
That was a good
Um,
time.
that one was good. The other one was fun too, and I bet you it's even more fun with the more people you have. We've only had 4 when we were playing it. Was you have a category, and 3 of you all fit into that category, and somebody's the oddball out. And they ask questions to try to figure out. You have to separate the categories.
Is
You
that
did,
is that Jackbox 7?
yeah. So, for
I
example,
don't
we were all like it was like sea creatures or something. Like, you didn't play this one?
That is
There was
not Jackbox 7.
just yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Well, how did I play the other one then?
You have a subscription. you just said you have access to all of them now.
Okay,
I think
hold
you
on.
played
Well, you
something
talk
different on that
about.
one.
I'm gonna look it up
Yeah,
while you
this
talk
one
about.
had it. So it had Quiplash 3, which
Yes,
is
we played that.
great, but like I think it just means I don't remember ever having a repeat in Quiplash ever, and I love Quiplash. We play it. We always play it. That's like always a go-to. So it's nice to have a new game, so you can't get repeats, but it's pretty much the same game. This one had a different art style, so Quiplash is great. I think it's the best Jackbox game of them all, whichever version you play. The one
Yeah,
that
we
I
played that.
loved, and this one might be one I can see people hating, but everybody was into it in my house, was Talking Points. So this is the one where you have a topic you have to talk about, and then that you have an assistant who's posting pictures on every other slide, and you have to try to convince somebody of your topic and work those images into your presentation. And I just thought it was hilarious. And in terms of a game, it's stupid because it's based on your cheers and your jeers, but like these are also your competitors, so I don't know how they could possibly be judges. But we just played this one. We didn't really care about who was the winner. It was just great. And I was like watching my kids actually try to stay on topic. I was shocked. I didn't think they would do it. And they would like try to work these ridiculous pictures in. And they actually all went and stood up by the TV and did the presentation. We didn't have to like convince anybody or whatever. We just all had a great time. Totally pointless game, but it was totally fun. I love that one. Did you figure out finally which Jackbox your game is in?
I didn't, but I know it's
Oh,
not
it's
7.
not in 7.
It's not in 7. I'll give you that one.
There was also Champed Up, which was a drawing game.
Oh, I didn't
And I'm
play
not a
that one.
huge fan of TKO. A lot of people like TKO. My problem with TKO is it's always seems to be biased towards the newest drawing. But Champed Up was a game where you had to like. Oh, now that I think of it, I can't remember how Champed Up played. I remember the drawing was interesting because you could switch between the foreground and the background and draw. Okay, so Champed Up was when you drew a bunch of pictures, and then other people they would see your picture and they would have to draw a challenger without actually knowing what your picture was for. So for example, it might say someone who's really high energy, and someone might draw a person, and then you would see that picture, but you wouldn't know the category that it's going for. And so you would have to draw a challenger based on your own imagination of what the category could be.
Okay.
And then there's a competition and people voted for who fit the category. And it was just hilarious fun because somebody drew Sebastian. And then so somebody drew anti-melody, and it was like melody, but there was like a shadow. It was just so bizarre. And we had a ton of fun with that one. And then the Devils and the Details.
I didn't play that one either.
You didn't play that one?
Maybe I only played some of 7, I guess.
The Devils and the Details was the one where you had to do jobs, and some of them you did on your own, but some of them you needed help from somebody in the room, and you were trying to just get a meter all the way up.
Okay.
I can say this: it reminded me of Among Us because in Among Us,
Ah.
you are trying to do jobs and fill the meter to win, and sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you need help from other people. This one, you definitely were like, it would request help, and then somebody comes along, and then they have to communicate with you. And so you would have to like read off some words so that they can do the help that they need because they didn't have all the information.
Mm-hmm.
We only played it one time. I really enjoyed it a lot, but or we played twice. Both times the server died. I think it was because it was New Year's and it was
Oh,
popular. I really
that
want to get
stinks.
to this one again, so hopefully we can do that this week. But that one was really fun, and I don't know if we were actually playing against each other or just working for a singular goal. But
Yeah, that one, the description seemed odd. I don't think it sold me
it is.
because it didn't really tell you what you were doing.
Yeah, and there was these tasks that you did that were selfish that you could take, and I never understood quite what the big deal was. Also, the game ground to a halt when somebody picked it. It'd be like, "Oh, this Cedric took this task and he's selfish," and we were like, "What?" Um, but I wanna. It just seems like these games were deeper, and that one reminded me of the bomb game from one of the earlier Jackboxes, where it's a game you
Mhm.
could work together and try to win like a campaign. I want to play that one again, but all of them were so good. And Blather Round was, we were terrible at Blather Round early on, and then we started getting much
That's
better at it.
exactly what happened to us the first time we played it. We're like, I don't think I really understand the game. Um, and then it was a ton of fun.
You have to get the clues out faster. You can't be slow. You got to start pumping out clues and give people help. So that was fantastic.
Is this the one I
Um,
played? This might be it. Hypno something? Hypnotorious? Maybe that's
I
it.
I don't have all of them.
This was on number 10. We played 10 too a little bit. That's the one I think we played 10 and 7.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't play 10. 10 didn't look good in the trailer.
I mean, I wouldn't. You're right. I mean, I wouldn't pay $20, but I'm paying $5. I said I might as well just try some other games. But you're right.
Right.
That's the tough
Yep.
part.
Yep.
Nice. It was fun. I mean, I wish we could play this more often. I mean, it's perfect for you because you have the family where your kids are older. Obviously, you can't get too raunchy with some of your answers, but
We still put the family friendly option on.
yeah, yep, nice.
I don't need bra questions again. What else? What else have we been playing? Let's
I'm
bounce.
gonna, yeah, let's. I'm gonna just go into detail with 2. I'll save the other 2 for the future since I'm still playing them. But
There's a common theme. There's a common theme with 2 of yours. Just gonna say that. Actually, 3 of yours.
there is very
3 of them have a theme. We'll give a kudos to anyone who can figure it out.
I'm gonna start with Untitled Goose Game. You guys been yelling at me to play it. So one night I was sitting in the chair and I decided, you know what, fuck it, let's just give it a go. And Evan came over. He's like, "What are you playing, Dad?" I'm playing this goose game. I don't really know. Never played it before, buddy. I said, I'm just trying to be a goose and wreak havoc. He's like, "That sounds fun. Can I snuggle and watch?" I said, "Absolutely." Never turned down a snuggle. And we sat there. We played through the whole first level, pretty much with the farmer and all that. And then we did all the tasks, and then we went on to the second level. And I said, "Well, let me. This is a good place to stop." So that's where I am with that. It's fun. I'll talk about it more as we go. I know it's not a long game, but it's silly. It's fun. It's quirky. The other one me and him have been playing.
If you asked me to, well, I would just say, if you asked me to pick a game that
Yes.
I could guarantee that no matter who I told to play this game would enjoy it, I think the number one game would be Untitled Goose Game. I can't imagine any human being on this planet who could play it and not have fun. A kid, an adult, someone who doesn't play games very often can still have fun with it. It's just, it's incredible. Its audience is 100% of human beings. Honestly,
I do agree with that. The only thing I would say is I could see it being a little frustrating for non-player. Like there is some strategy on getting like the farmer guy to leave you alone, and like there is a little bit of strategy there. It could get
there
tricky if
is.
you're not paying attention, and that's only the first level. You can only imagine the second level and third, whatever.
You don't have to do everything, right? I can't remember if it's like you have to do a certain number of things, or I know that there's like stuff, there's optional stuff.
Correct.
You don't
And
have
it
to
opens
do.
up. You have to make him do something so he opens up and falls and hits the next level. So yeah, I agree.
It's so good. It's so good.
The other game Evan and I have been playing was Sonic Superstars, which he got for Christmas, and this is a throwback to the original Sonic series, where it looks great visually. It's fun, very similar to the old school Sonic games. You can play as different characters, which is great. There's also, I didn't look into it yet. We had a code for like some of the Lego stuff, and there's DLC. I don't know if you can play as Lego characters. I haven't really looked into it yet, so more to come on that. Um, this is just, again, put to the side burner a little bit because of the next two games we've been playing. But are there any other quick ones you want to talk about? Or, the other two I'm going to go into detail about.
Yeah, I have a couple quick ones. Pokemon Violet. Did I mention on this show that I started playing Pokemon
Yes.
Violet?
Yep, you did.
I started playing
early
Pokemon
stages.
Violet because it's just a game I haven't played. I've been waiting all year for updates, never got them, and it's like, and I love playing Pokemon. I find it very relaxing and zen, and I enjoy it. So I just decided, all right, it's never getting updates. Let me just try to get through this. I started fresh and I stopped. I can't take it. And the weird thing is, it is a rough game technically. The transitions are bad. It's the frame rate chugs. It's and all of that. I can actually get through that. That's fine. I can get through it. I got used to it. I was just bored. I was really
Yeah.
bored to death. And what it was it's an open world game. It's kind of like, oh, it's like Breath of the Wild. But please, I'm going to vomit if I hear someone say it's like Pokemon with Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild
It's
was an
not.
exploratory game. You start off and you can go in any direction and figure out what you want to do. In this game, they literally just slap on the map, here's all the gyms, here's all the Titan quests, here's all this, here's all that. And your map is immediately full with everything, like an Ubisoft. Like everything's like da 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 da. So there's no
Yeah.
it's exploration. There was nothing I ran across that was interesting. The only thing I found exciting about it was finding little Pokeballs in the dirt and the little red glow. And I'd be like, ooh, let me get that. Let me get that.
Mhm.
And then the gyms are all, they're not like scaled or anything. So when you go to a gym, it might be very high level and you can't beat it. Or you might go
True.
fight a Titan and
Yeah, they
it's
don't
too
adjust.
high level. So I ended up, I was going to quit. And then I decided to print out a map that had suggestions for the order to do things, which is something you shouldn't have to do. Show some icons, show me what's too high level, maybe show it in red. I don't know. And so
Mhm.
I started following the map. And then I was just totally bored by that. I was like, okay, this has become a linear game and there's no exploration. And I got bored. I was like, I'd rather have the towns where it's like, oh, you need to go to this next town. Like it's the same thing, except they're
Yeah.
not trying to hide the fact that the game is more linear, like a typical Pokemon game is linear. I was just not having fun, and all I could think of was, man, I'd rather just break out, my Switch and play one of the older games, or play it on my little portable
But
device.
you
Or
didn't, did you? You kept going.
no, I stopped.
Wow, no.
I just stopped with Violet. I was so bored. I didn't like it at all. I want an open world Pokemon. Don't get me wrong. But if you're going to let me go do the gyms in any order, then let me do the gyms in any order. Like I can't go to a level 40 gym right off the bat. And
Yeah.
I was I picked the green, the kitty, the grass kitty.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And they tell you in the beginning, go check out the bug gym. And so I was like, all right, I'll do the bug gym first, obviously suggesting that's the easier one. And then I was like,
Yep.
okay, I'm going to go do the water gym because grass beats water. And I
Sure.
went to the water area and I was underleveled for it.
Really?
It's like, okay, I can't do the water. Yeah, I just didn't like it. So it wasn't the technical stuff in the end that got me. I was just bored. I didn't like it. I mean, there's a
Wow.
lot of things in this game that are good and fine and whatever. There's a lot of different things you can do and whatever, but I think just between the technical stuff and lack of discovery, it's just a miss. I'll try the next one. But I like the regular formula better. And the Let's Go formula for that matter. I am also playing Monster Hunter World Iceborne. I got the Iceborne expansion and I started that up.
Nice.
I'm enjoying that a lot. Haven't played a lot lately, but I've been playing that and Monster Hunter now on my phone. So there's a lot of Monster Hunter going on, and yeah, really excited. This will take me all year to kind of go through, but lots of
Wow.
cool new monsters in Iceborne to see, and the storyline is still a lot better than Rise, in my view. And no, I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, those are my 2 quick ones, and then I have 2 other ones. But
Nice. I'm going to start with some controversy that everyone said about Bluey, John. Bluey, the video game, because my kids got it for Christmas, and we decided we're going to play it as a family. That's it. John, we 100%ed this game in 2 sittings. Like, probably 5 hours. And that's fine. Like, for a length of the game, I'm not
yeah,
complaining. Like,
right.
that's like what it's Bluey. How long of a game do you need, right? We loved it. I mean, for what it's worth, I'm not saying it's game of the year, right? It's by no means game of the year, but I will say this: it ran perfectly fine. There was no glitches. There was no issues with the entire game. 100% in it. It looks exactly like the cartoon. It's exactly like the cartoon humor. There's so many little references to the actual show that if you watch the show, you're going to pick up instantly. The whole premise of the game is you're playing through some different episodes, right? So there's an episode part where you kind of have to follow a path and do stuff and interaction moments to have cutscenes and tell the story. And then once you do that episode, it opens up that map. There's like 5 maps to kind of free roam. And when you free roam, there's a few things you need to do. There's some collectibles. There's 12 collectibles in every level. And then there's also hidden stickers that you can find throughout. So you can at any point not do the free roam and move on to the next episode and just continue, probably do the whole game in 2 hours. But, we watched the episode, we opened up the free play mode, and we went in and we found everything before we started the next episode. And yeah, I mean, there's little things. You unlock special things. Like if you watch the show, like you can unlock the TP up game. So there's a balloon and you guys can just, it kind of like activates a balloon mode and you can hit it up. There's like the floor is lava mode where you can't jump on it. You have to jump on furniture and stuff. And you just play until that ends. So that opens up like a mini game within the level. You can do it anytime you want. And then there's unlockables, right? So every time you find new stickers or new things, you get like stars, which gives you a new type of hat. So then you can go change, there's 50 different hats you can change. And it's just, again, being kids, I want to wear the chef hat. I want to wear the crown. I want to wear whatever, the camping stuff. Like there's just different things. And then the other part of unlockables is when you find the stickers, you can pick, you can go to this little treasure chest and you can hold these items, right? So like, for example, I just walked around every level holding my coffee mug because that's what I do. And it's like #1 dad. So like, I want the coffee mug at all times. I mean, it's silly. It's not the best game. It's just a scavenger hunt. You're exploring, but you're exploring the world from a kid's point of view. Is I get to explore Bluey's house. I get to explore the campground. I get to go to the beach and explore the beach. For a 7 and 9-year-old, it was a perfect game for them because it wasn't much thought. It was just exploring the world of Bluey, which they love. I recommend that. I think it was $40. Probably could have been more like 30 or 25, but again, my kids were happy with it. Again, not game of the year, not a fantastic game. I would never have played this game by myself. If I played it, I would have quit after 20 minutes. But playing with my kids and seeing them and laughing and stuff, we played the whole game, 100% in it. Glad I got it.
That's cool. I'm glad that worked out. That was I did get on some sales. The 3 things that I heard the most complaints about where it was buggy. So it sounds like it
That's
probably
weird.
patched up a lot of it.
Maybe I had 0
I mean,
bugs. Yeah.
you didn't play it for like a month after it came out, so it might have gotten patched up by the time. The game length,
Possibly, yeah.
which was, I heard like what you said, like a couple hours. But then there was
Yep.
collectible stuff.
But still,
and that's
5
not always a
hours, I think.
complaint. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not always a complaint for me. I like shorter games. 2 hours is a little weird, but like there was collectible. It's like with Odyssey, right? People said it was too short, and it's like no, there's so much to do.
So many
And then the
moons,
other one I think was the mini games like were very simplified.
They were.
I haven't
They
played
weren't
it,
great.
so like the keepy uppy game, like they were like didn't take any skill.
So you pretty much at any point can hit like up arrow and the little wheel comes up and there's 4 mini games. TP up is one of them, and it's legit like pauses the screen, and I think it's just as a counter, and it's like everything hit a balloon. You can like get your high score, and that's it. Like it's just whatever room you're in, it stops and pauses that room, and then your players move around, and you can just all you do is hit the balloon. Yeah, you're right. I mean, those portions of the games were not
Right.
great.
Those were the things that I had heard. But I think
Yeah.
once you fix the glitches, because those can be very frustrating,
Yeah.
it's kind of easy to move past that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bluey.
Bluey. Boop, 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 boop. I played through Final Fantasy XVI. I finished it a couple nights ago.
Nice.
Yeah. And so this was my Christmas vacation game, and I wanted to play it earlier in the year. It's PS5 exclusive, and I dabble in Final Fantasy, though I haven't played one since Final Fantasy 13. But I did play 7 Remake earlier this year. And I got it on a nice 50% off sale a couple months back, and I've been wanting to play it, and I did. And I loved it. It was it's much more linear than don't expect a big open world game here. It's one of those games that as you open up areas, you are then free at any time during the game, mostly to go to those areas and explore. But otherwise, there's like a main quest line you're doing, and then every so often a whole bunch of side quests open up. And the way I played it was anytime I had any side quest available, I would just do it. So sometimes it would be like 3 side quests, and then I would continue the main line, or 6 or 7. And I would just do everything. And at no point did I get frustrated, or, sometimes you hit a point in a game, you're like, all right, screw the side quest. I just want to finish this thing. The whole way through, I was like, oh, side quests, let me do it. And they weren't always the most exciting side quests in the world, but there was something unexplainably satisfying about finishing the side quests. Maybe because they were pretty quick. Like, you'd go talk to somebody, and then maybe go fight some monster, and then you come back and they'd say thank you, and you get some experience points, and you move on. There was a skill tree, which there's a whole bunch of elements that you can use for magic, and I mostly stuck to the same 3. I tried some other ones, but for the most part, I liked the original 3 the most. And this game was great. The battles have these integrated cutscenes in them, and sometimes there's like a quick time event that you have to press. Nothing hard at all. And they just really integrated well with the battle. If you watch the trailer for Final Fantasy XVI, they use a lot of those integrated cutscenes for the trailer. It was just so magical. There was so much expression going on. The main character, Clive, and Sid, and some other characters, really good voice acting work. Had a fantastic time with it. And it's probably a game that you probably wouldn't replay, but I could see myself replaying this in a few years and just kind of playing through it. A lot of fun, glorious looking. The final boss battle was great, and I just had a great time with it. I'm not going to do the DLC right now. I feel like I've had my fill of Final Fantasy 16. I want to move on to something else, but that was a fantastic game. I don't know what else I can really say about it. There was this one part of the game. There was a board with some papers on it. And I was like, oh, that's funny. It looks like the Monster Hunter board, or the Witcher, the board in the Witcher.
Board.
And I go to the board, and there's like, each paper is a monster that you can go find in the world and kill. And I'm like, oh, this is very much like Monster Hunter.
So it is a bounty, yeah.
And it was weird because the description kind of described where the monster would be, but they don't mark it on the map, which I thought was really cool. You really had to really think through the description and figure out where it might be and go explore and look for it. So it did feel like, oh, there is some discoverability going on here. There is like random treasure boxes around in the world you can explore. So even though it was very linear, there was reason to explore. And I could see coming back to this game just for a little bit at a time and finishing off the monster board. There was a book with chapters in it. I'm more likely to do that before I ever get to DLC. So that was a fun aspect of it as well. So I really enjoyed it. Had a good little story that was going on and a good ending. And I'm good. I am getting FOMO, by the way, for Rebirth, which comes out end of February.
I can't keep track of all these. What was the one Rebirth, I played on the Switch? Rise?
Which one did you play? Final Fantasy on the Switch? Was it?
I'm sorry. I was looking at Monster. I was thinking of Monster Hunter.
Oh, you're thinking Monster Hunter now. Final Fantasy Remake came out several years ago, and now the second part of it, because it wasn't the complete Final Fantasy VII. Did you play all these
ones, or not really, though?
I played Remake earlier this year, and I loved it.
I remember that.
Yes. In fact, it was so good, I want to play it again. It was that good. And so I want to play that again before I do Rebirth, but Rebirth comes out February 29th. And I'm kind of thinking I might replay Remake and then play on launch.
But do you remember it?
It's so good. It's just so good.
But how long is that game?
It's not super long. 30 hours maybe. I didn't
So
do all the
many other
side
games.
quests in it. I did a lot of the side quests, but I didn't do all the side quests in it. I just would want to like get the story again in my head, and because it's a direct continuation.
Mhm.
I'm getting the FOMO. I really.
Oh gosh.
All right, what else have you been playing?
Well,
Let's
John,
hear it. Let's hear it.
let's talk about the big blue guy here, Avatar. So last time we talked, I only really had like 5 hours into this game, and as you know, when you start any of these massive games, like it's very hard for me in the first 5 hours because you're really just understanding the gameplay, understanding the mechanics. You're getting into that loop, right? These big games have a loop
Mhm.
that you do, just like the Zelda game, for comparison, where you do a dungeon, you get a new item, you go out to the open world, you explore, you have new things you can do, right? Is that loop, and then you get tired of exploring, you go find the next dungeon, right? That's these big open world games loops that we all try to fall in the trap of. So I found my loop. I found my Avatar loop. I will say, from a lunar experience, right, I was nervous about not being able to play handheld that much. I mean, I can, but I wasn't going to. Um, I will say this: I had the perfect storm for Luna over the last few weeks, right? Because I was on winter break, so I could play a lot on the TV. And then when COVID hit the last few days, I had, again, isolation and time to play as much time as I wanted to play. So perfect storm of me not having a handheld device to play video games on. With that being said, Avatar. Uh, John, wow. No exaggeration. Top 5 game of all time. Like,
Oh my
game of the year,
god.
game of the year last year. Absolutely incredible. This is a game that, when you look at it from, I was nervous about, because it's a first person game. I mean, it's a first person shooter essentially. And I was nervous about that, but I loved Avatar so much and the lore of Avatar, so I'm going to give it a go. And this game drew me right in. Uh, I love Ubisoft, and now I'm going to start. I love them even more, and I'm going to start looking at more other games I could possibly, start playing. This game, you've played Phoenix Rising. Look at Phoenix Rising combined with Tears of the Kingdom, and they kind of took a lot of those, I think, learned from those both concepts in Breath of the Wild.
Phoenix Rising took Breath of the Wild.
Oh, sure, but
So
I'm
you're
saying
just
there were
saying
some
Breath of the
things.
Wild with Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, no, because there's some things that Phoenix Rising added that I think worked
Yeah.
really well, and they took some of those things and brought them into Avatar, right? So one of the things is that the lore of this game is awesome. If you love the world of Pandora and Avatar, you're going to love the game itself, because the storyline is really cool. I won't really get into the story. I'm going to focus more on the gameplay. But the story is tons of fun, all about that, and exploring. The map is massive. I'd like to Google it. I think it might be bigger than like Hyrule and Tears of the Kingdom is. I could be wrong, but it feels massive. The ability to just jump on a Banshee at any moment and just fly to wherever you want is so much fun and so cool, as well as fast travel. Uh, there's a scene where you climb the mountains, just like in the first movie, and you're creating your first bond with your Banshee, and the music's playing. It's one of the best video gaming moments I've ever had. It was incredible. I
Did you
didn't cry
cry?
though. I did not cry, John.
Ah.
I did not cry. I felt I wanted to, but I did not.
you
Um,
held it back.
I held it back. It
I
was
won't
just so
cry.
incredible. Like, and it was awesome. But yeah, so this loop that I kept falling into the trap to, there's a few things going on. There's these little like mine and drill plants scattered throughout the land. And if you come across one of these, you can either just go in guns blazing and destroy the place, or you can go into stealth mode. This game's actually a lot more stealthier than I thought it was going to be. And what I mean by that is, when you infiltrate one of these camps, if you go into stealth mode and try to start killing the people slowly, you can shut down like the Mets, and then you can like rip the guys out of it. So you're not making a lot of noise. If you start making noise, the guards will go pull alarms, and then helicopters will come in, and it'll make it a lot worse. The cool part is, when you destroy the drill camp, if you did it in a stealth mode and the alarm was never alerted, you get more rewards. What happens is, if you set off the alarm, guys will like run away with the rewards at the end of it. So it's pretty cool. Also, by destroying this drill camp, is now takes like all the oil and stuff out of the area, so all of the land starts to restore. So like
Mhm.
before, when you go through, everything's polluted. You can't really craft any. You can't really gather anything because it's all polluted. So now it restores the area. There's like, I don't know. There's got to be 50 of these scattered throughout the map. I haven't even done them all. And then there's bigger ones and there's smaller ones. It's awesome. So that's one of the loops that you can fall into, is you try to go kill these drill camps to restore the land. The other one is there's these little dots scattered everywhere over the maps. And when you
Yeah, it's
go
an
to the
Ubisoft
dot,
game.
that's an Ubisoft game.
They
And when you
love
go
their
to the
dots.
dot, it could be like one of 8 different things, right? It could be a little bit of, you just touch a tree and you gain extra health,
Mhm.
permanent. You could touch another type of plant and you get a skill point. Some of them are like mazes that you kind of have to navigate and how to get to it. Some of them are like these really cool memory paintings are called, and you have to like move the joysticks in like the timing that they tell you to move them. Other ones are like little stories. It's just all these different things. So when you get there, you don't know what it's going to be, and then it's some type of interaction that you have to go complete to make it, achieve whatever you get out of it. Uh, there's tons of crafting. I spent a whole day yesterday. Well, I spent an hour and a half looking for a fucking pine cone. I finally found it, right? And I was looking for this rare pine cone so I could go craft this really good bow that I was really trying to get. So there's that aspect of it. If you can go into as much depth you want of just exploring and crafting, tons of crafting. If you want, you don't have to. Like I said, there's options. There's tons of skill trees as well that you can focus on crafting. You can focus on hunting. You can focus on warrior. Um, there's really tons of ways you can play the game. But overall, John, this game has like, I've never been this into a game. I'm going to say probably since Breath of the Wild. We've all talked. I've talked how I felt about Tears of the Kingdom. Loved the game, but I didn't feel like that same as I did with Breath of the Wild. This is the first time I felt like that in a long time. The Luna's been great. I've drained batteries. I had to replace multiple batteries on the controller for it.
Is
And
it rechargeable or are they battery?
no, they're just 2 AA batteries.
Oh, do you have like the rechargeable battery thing going like
No, I mean,
Xbox?
I've only used, I think, like 6 batteries since I've played, so it's not like it's crazy,
Okay.
but, I probably should invest in some nice ones now if I know. But again, 6 batteries at the end of the day isn't that bad.
Yeah, I got the double, like the Energizer has like a
Yeah,
4 battery recharger and then you can just rotate, which is nice
that's
because
smart.
if it interrupts, you have them and
That's
yeah.
a good point, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, this game was great. It made me realize the value I have in Luna, I think the respect I have in Ubisoft and other games that they have, and uh, how I'm going to move forward with Luna and all of this. I'm blown away. I love it. I can't really say much more about it.
Oh, Drew's into big boy games now. I'm so
Yeah,
proud of you.
it's funny. I think too because I have never played games, right? That you talked about like Horizon or even Far Cry, like in Ubisoft, and these other big type of God of War and these games that I never really played. So there may have been aspects that Avatar even stole from those games, but I wouldn't know, right? Because I
Yeah.
never played those. So for me, this is like my first experience, like you said, as a big boy game, which maybe that helped, Like I could
Yeah,
go play one of these other games, like, oh, Avatar's not as good as this game is, but I don't know because I haven't tried it.
yeah, that could happen. I mean, so Witcher 3 is the only big boy game that I know that
Correct.
you've played. I actually would love to have this conversation and more in the future after you've maybe explored some other ones because there is like how I always talk about things like when people say a game is addictive and I'm like, but is it fun, right?
Yeah.
And like I've fallen into that trap where I'm playing a game and I'm addicted to it, but then I'm like, but am I having fun? And
Sure.
Hogwarts Legacy straddles that line because it's very similar to how you described. There's this big world and then these like dots, and you're like, I want to go to this dot, but there's like only like 8 things that can happen, and half of those things are pretty bland. And like,
Yep.
remember in Witcher when you would go to a dot and it would be like a like a what does they call them a place of power, and
Okay.
then you would just get a skill point. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, and you were excited. You were like, I got a skill point, but like there was nothing fun there, right? Finding
Sure.
a place of power is not in itself fun, but it's addictive. And Ubisoft does that. Like Valhalla is like that, and then I mentioned Hogwarts Legacy, Phoenix Rising, and so, but now there's these 2 levels because people played Elden Ring,
Yeah.
where you get on the map and there are no dots, like none. And
Yep.
you do have to explore and find things, but you are not led there by dots. And I think we're starting to see in these open world games where they're trying to do that Tears of the Kingdom or Elden Ring approach of it's a land, go find something, versus here's the dots and now you're compelled to go see them. There's pros and cons to
Yeah,
each approach,
of
but
course.
I
People
would
like
love
the
to have a
dots.
conversation about maybe what you end up liking. If you end up playing an Elden Ring,
Yep.
that would be a great little game to say which approach did you like better? Because I'll tell you,
Correct.
I enjoyed it in Hogwarts, but I didn't love it in Valhalla. I really didn't like Valhalla, and they're both the same if you describe them. And I don't know really what caused one over the other.
It's funny, I think
Um,
there's a happy medium, right? Because so I'm 55 hours into Avatar. It actually keeps
mhm.
track on the Ubisoft store. So with that being said, right, I'm you can you can love a game. It could be your favorite game of all time, but you can get sick of a game. To your point, if you fall into that loop, right? It doesn't mean that you stop loving it. It just means that you're tired of playing this game right this moment, right? So I'm
Right.
getting to the point. I'm almost done. I will probably finish Avatar today. I have about 2 missions left.
The main story or like
The main
completing it?
story, right?
Okay.
And then I'll be interested to see myself, like, I might honestly take a little break and play something else, right? Maybe I'll play Sonic Superstars or into a game that I don't need to, like, dive in, you know what I'm saying? And then maybe I'll
Right.
come back in a week or so because there's more I want to explore, there's more drilling camps I wanna destroy, there's more stuff I wanna do, but I'm also excited to see the story, right? I hit, like once I was, like, 80% done in the game, I was like, "Man, the story's so good now, I wanna just focus on mission after mission after mission. I wanna take the exploration part away for a minute because I'm deep into that." So, um, I'm ready now to, I think, complete the game, and then I wanna see what happens. Also, I'm curious to see what they do with season passes and DLC because when you subscribe to the subscription, you automatically get the season pass. Versus if I bought the game for $70, you don't get it, which
Okay.
is actually I didn't realize at first, but I guess I made the right
That is
play then.
unusual, actually, that you get the DLC with that. Because, like, on Game Pass, that you get a lot of base games, but not the DLCs. That's kind of how they drag you in a little bit.
Maybe it's because it's $18 straight to Ubisoft.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure Luna maybe gets a small cut, but I'm subscribing just to Ubisoft,
And
no
and
other
if you
games.
and if they give you the season pass, then you have to stick around and stay subscribed. So I guess it keeps you around because the DLC doesn't come until later. Maybe that's their plot.
Yeah. Yep. So that's
Cool.
it for Avatar. I'm gonna keep going. What about you? Any other games?
Yeah, the last game I hadn't played my Switch in like 5 days, and I have been in the middle of Blasphemous 2. Remember I replayed Blasphemous 1 last month, so I can then buy 2, and I got to it, and I have to say I enjoy Blasphemous 2 more than 1. 1 was really good. It was so good I've played it twice in my life. 2 feels a little easier, in a good way, and feels less frustrating. Blasphemous 1 has some frustrating areas to get through, and this one does a really good job of, I don't know, just being more fun. They tell you all the places on the map where you need to go. Reminds me of Hollow Knight. So you haven't filled in the map, but you can see the little points where you need to go. So there was like 3 bosses, and I had been looking for the third boss, and I was in that classic Metroidvania space where you can't advance anywhere. Everywhere you go on the map that you got stuck with, like, I need to get past this brown wall, and that's what was happening with Blasphemous 2. And I didn't know how to do it, and I knew it's like I probably need to find the third weapon. I have no idea where it is. And last night we were watching Captain America, and I was sitting there just trying to find what I thought would be the third weapon. And
Yeah.
I go to this area where the map isn't filled in this area, and I'm just the same stops. I can't remember where they are. I tried marking them on the map. And then finally last night I saw this door and I was like, oh, I can go that way. And it led to this area, and I got the freaking weapon that lets me go through the brown walls. And it was like that's why I love Metroidvanias. You have this moment where you go, oh, I got the thing, and now there's like 10 places I know I can go and get past. So yeah, for an hour last night I was getting super frustrated. It was probably close to just looking it up. And then for the next hour and a half I played, I was like going to all the places I got stuck with and having a good time. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's a great series if you're looking for a good Metroidvania. It's just swimming in like overly gothic religious symbology. It goes way overboard. You don't even know what's going on. It's not any particular religion. It's just religious symbology. And it's like, I just try to ignore it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
I looked at
I'm
some
the
screenshots.
penitent one. Like, yeah, you're called the penitent one. And it's like, okay, I'm a dude with a sword though. So that's cool. So it's a great little, it's a great series. I'm really enjoying, and I was just happy to play my Switch again.
I know. I kind of miss my Switch too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep. See, there you go. Say it. Look at you cheating now.
I am cheating.
Who's the cheater now?
Yeah.
I've been playing a ton with my Portal, more and more and more. My brain doesn't see the differences as much anymore playing on Portal versus device.
Yep.
So I've been bringing it upstairs and yeah, but I do want to finish Blasphemous 2. I have a game lined up next for the Switch, so my Switch will get more action.
What's that?
Cobalt's.
Oh, that's right.
I was going to get another Code Recollection and play through both games. I've actually decided I'll just wait till later in the year because I don't want to pay $60 for it. I don't think it's that worth it to me. I'm going to wait till later in the year, but this Cobalt Core game, I want to give it a try. I already bought it.
Nice. I bought actually Silent Hope. I'm going to be playing that.
Yeah, you were mentioning that one too.
Yep.
That one came from the Indie World, I think, right?
It did.
Or no, maybe it was the Direct. It
was one of the Directs. I think it was the Direct. I read reviews. It has pretty good scores, in the 7s, and it says 7s or 8, and they say it's a Diablo-like. It looks a lot more cartoony and stuff, but the style of gameplay, dungeon crawler, hack and slash type thing. So we'll see.
Cool. I assume we'll be talking about that next episode.
Hopefully.
All right. So let's get to the show, and we don't know how much time Drew has left with us, and I do have ribs to make. But we don't have too much. We do have a lot of questions, but just a reminder. Well, not a reminder anymore, but Chubby's begins.
Yes.
As of recording, begins tomorrow morning. So today is the last day, and I've got ribs and wings in the day.
Got to do what you got to do.
It's going to be an 8-week competition. We're not taking anybody else on, unless we could magic. No, I mean, at this point, if you're listening to this, it's too late. But we got 22 people, which far outstrips what we got last year. And it's going to be an 8-week competition, and we're going to see how many pounds we lose together.
Yeah, let's see. What's like a realistic, 22 people? If everybody lost 10 pounds, it's over 200.
I would love to lose 15 pounds, but realistically, I'm aiming for a dozen.
I'd like to lose 15.
I did a preseason week. I've been trying to I try to transition myself more this week, and I've lost a few pounds this week. So I'm not even sandbagging going into it. There's no money on the line this time.
No, this is for us. This is for us. This is for you. Yep. This is just to shed weight. Let's set a goal. Let's set a goal for a group. I'd love for the group to lose 300 pounds.
I wouldn't know the number. I mean, if you go by raw pounds, there's some people have more pounds to lose than others.
Yep.
So it's like, if everyone lost 10 pounds, that'd be 220. 300, I feel like would be probably a good goal.
Let's give away a gift card if we lose 300 pounds. We'll figure it out.
300 pounds. With a bunch of people that are in the hospital. We did it. I got a $25 eShop.
All right. Well, to be determined, we'll give away something if we lose 300 pounds.
Okay.
All right.
Monthly Mayhem is gonna come back. Drew and I are currently trying to figure out some new ideas for it. So we're doing Chubby's right now. We don't have a Mayhem ready anytime soon, but we're trying to come up with something new about it. We haven't come up with that yet. But we've had a discussion about it. Go to the Monthly Mayhem channel. There's been a lot of good feedback about it, what people are looking for. So go there and give us some ideas. It's things we might do differently.
Yeah, let us know what you like or don't like or just anything, because we want to regroup. We get it's hard. Sometimes, we've had Mayhems where we got 20 people. We've had ones that we got 3 people. So, looking for a happy medium.
Needs a refresh. Energize us and the contestants.
Agreed.
All right, Drew. I want to talk about 2024 and what games we are hyped for this year. Now that the calendar has turned, and I believe we talked about, our top hyped game in our last episode. I want to know what I was hoping for a top 10. I don't think you got us 10, but what are the games you're hyped for? I want to just ordered list of what, and mine changes every week. I'll be honest. Every week I kind of change a little bit. But let's talk. Are we going to talk just Switch? Just Switch, right?
Whatever you want. Like I said, I don't have a top 10 list. I really struggled with this, and I think there's a fine line between what are you hyped for and what are you going to play? Right?
Yes.
I think I have a playlist, but I'm not necessarily hyped. And I'm going to just start off with an example. You know, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is one of my favorite games of all time, my favorite franchise, period, of all time. But I'm not hyped for it. And the reason I say that is because I play that, I've probably beaten that game 10 to 12 times in my lifetime.
Jeez.
Right? Because it's one of my favorite games, and I'm stoked when it's coming out. But you know, it's not like it's an hour or two game that you can play a lot. I've played it, and I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna play it, but I'm not hyped for it. You know what I mean?
I feel like you should be more hyped because you've played it so many times, you know it inside and out, and so you can appreciate the differences in the remake.
I will, but is there really going to be any?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Mario RPG had some significant differences.
I guess we'll find out, and then I would be hyped for it. Maybe I'm not. You know what? That got me a little excited. I thought it would just be a direct remake.
Yeah, because we don't know much about it. I mean, you played through Mario RPG.
Correct.
Right, and you had like the triple attacks and some other quality of life.
I never played the original, so I wouldn't have really known those differences.
Yeah, I didn't get to appreciate them either, which is why I was saying, like, I think you will really appreciate them because you know the game inside and out.
Correct.
I think if it's a game that you know you're going to play, I mean, I think there has to be hype there. Maybe not like I'm out of my mind, but you know, you want to play it, you're excited to play it, so that's hype. That hype counts.
Okay.
That hype counts. What else are you hyped for? That's it.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit the last episode, right? But Star Wars Hunters, if it ever comes out, is one that I really want to hope that I can sink into and have as a game that's.
Is that the ship battling? There's so many Star Wars games.
Star Wars Hunters is the Paladins.
Oh, okay.
It's Overwatch. It's that. That's going to be a game, hopefully, that I can play and pick up like in lulls of games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, in between games right now, I could play this for 2 weeks to keep me busy. That's the type of game it is that I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's how you played Paladins too. You kept coming back to it.
I kept coming back to when there was games. Yeah, correct. Endless Dungeon is one that's been out for a long time, but not on the Switch yet. That's another one of like our types of games, I guess you could say. There is another game that I'm not going to talk to yet till it's an answer to one of our questions. So I'm gonna save it for later.
What do you mean you're not going to talk? Okay,
I'm going to save it for later.
Thought you were keeping secrets from me.
Another one I'm going to mention is obviously Mario vs. Donkey Kong, because I played that game, but never really like in detail. You know what I mean? Like I don't really remember it that well. I didn't beat it. I think I played it a little bit.
Yeah, you played it for some time. I downloaded it on my little Mio device. I'd like to kind of go through it, but I think I want to play the remake first.
Yes.
Because I feel like I don't want to burn out on the good one.
Correct. One thing that I'm a little excited for that you've inspired me to maybe look into more and play the old ones are the new South Park games, right? I know Stick of Truth and Fracture But Whole. You played those, right?
I played both, yeah.
And you enjoyed them.
I did.
We have a new one coming out, right? Snow Day.
I have no excitement for this one.
Really?
Because it's 3D. It looks a little uglier. It doesn't look like South Park characters.
I know.
I have no interest at all. I'm sorry. I'm glad I inspired you to play this one, but
you maybe did. I'm not committed yet, but
yeah. Have you played Fractured But Whole?
I haven't played either one of them.
I would recommend. I'll say that I did not play Stick of Truth, which was the first one for years, and it felt a little older. It felt there were some parts of it that were like saving. It just stuff was a little like long in the tooth. Fractured But Whole, I really enjoid.
Really? Okay.
If you're going to play a South Park game, and it looks like the South Park cartoon, you know what I mean? So that,
and they're not connected, right?
It does continue, but I had no problem playing. And when I played through the Stick of Truth, it was so similar to Fractured But Whole. I kept stopping and thinking, like, have I played this game? But there was like no way I had ever played it. But it was so similar. It's just like a big cosplay in the town. So you don't have to play them in any order at all. I didn't. When I played the first one, there was nothing revelatory.
Yeah.
But Fractured But Whole just had more quality of life, and it was a little cleaner of a game. There was some there was some stuff in the first game that was like, oh God, this is like, it feels old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Last two, I think I mentioned Luigi's Mansion 2. I'm excited for that one because I've never played that one really because it was on the DS. And then I think we're all excited for the Plutty Squire. I've been watching the trailers and stuff, but I'm going to play it. I think I'm going to play it. As of now, I will, but who knows? We don't really have a release date, do we?
No, it should be this year. It looks great, but for some reason I'm not hyped for it, I guess.
And that's my point. I don't know if I am either, but I'll probably play it. And that's why I struggled with making a top 10 list, because all these games are like, I couldn't rank them because they're all kind of just, like I'm not. And I wonder if this is really Switch fatigue, right? Like if all of a sudden we said Switch 2 is coming out and these are the games, then maybe it would have been different. But I'm just kind of like, I'll play these, but I'm not. 2024 right now is not a very promising year for me for the video game industry. I don't know what to look forward to. I really don't have.
You're into the Ubisoft now, Valhalla.
Well, shit, you might as well talk about it now, right? So the other one that Ubisoft is coming out with, a big one this year that I'm looking into, is Skull and Bones, which is essentially a pirate game, right? That's their next big one. It's going to be on Luna. The other one is the Star Wars Outlaws, but for whatever reason they have not announced that on Luna yet. I don't think I could play both of them. I can't commit to that. I'd love to know if Star Wars isn't at the Luna treatment, which right now it says no. So if it does, then I'll save that and I'll play it. But right now, the Skull and Bones ones looks entertaining, but can't decide yet.
Yeah, right. I'm not into it at all.
You probably have a more structured list, John. What do you got?
I do. I'll just go from 10 to 1 real quick. And 2024 to me is a year where I feel like the Switch needs to die. We really need a Switch 2. I'll trade in all of these games to get a Switch 2 because it's really struggling with even indie games. And like even when you mentioned the Plucky Squire, there's no way I would play that on the Switch at this point because I have the Portal. I have the portability of the PlayStation.
Oh, now. There it is.
If I decide to play that game, I would play it on my Portal because now portability is not the issue anymore. And I don't take a train to work. I'm always home. So it's just struggling between things. And it's like, I'll take the performance of this over that. But so for my Switch list, number 10 would be Another Code Recollection. I like those kinds of games. And the demo put me to sleep just a little bit, but no, I'm ready for it. I want to play through them both. I want to see what's going on. Number 9 is Princess Peach Showtime, and I'm excited for it, even though it's number 9. I like the side scrolling. I'm curious to see what this game is about. So I'm excited for that one. Number 8, a game I hope comes out because the company has had some issues, but Rift of the Necrodancer.
Oh, that's right.
The Necrodancer series in those games seem to be getting better, but I've gone back to the original Necrodancer and I find I like it less than I thought I did. It's too hard, but Cadence of Hyrule is incredible and all the DLC. So I'm kind of excited for Rift of the Necrodancer. Number 7 is Silk Song. I don't know if it'll come out this year.
I still need to play the original.
Yeah, Hollow Knight is good and bad to it. I'm iffy on it, but I'm excited about Silk Song. I think it'll iterate on it, and I can't believe it's still not out yet. Number 6, Mario versus Donkey Kong. I'm getting excited for that one. I don't know if I'll play it co-op. You can play it co-op. I don't know if anybody will play it with me. I haven't played a game with my wife in forever.
Oh. Is that only couch co-op? Do you know?
It is couch co-op, yeah. The original game wasn't co-op, so that's something new in that one. Number 5 is still Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. This is from the Sayonara Wild Hearts people. It was supposed to come out this year. It just didn't. And normally it would be higher, but I don't really know much about this game, but I know I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm excited for it because I like the developer. Which is weird. They haven't done anything since Sayonara Wild Hearts. Just an incredibly long time for a small company to be dormant. Number 4, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. I'm surprised you didn't have that on your list.
I'm so torn on this one. I'm probably going to play it on the Switch, but I never played a Prince of Persia game, so why would I be hyped, I guess?
Me neither.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks great. It looks fun. It's a 2D type of game that we play, but I don't know. I guess I might love it. I might not. I don't know. It's not Metroidvania, though, is it? That's what I'm nervous
It
about.
looks like, I think it's supposed to be Metroidvania-y,
And that's
but
my concern.
it's mostly platformy as well. It looks like there's a lot of challenge in navigating the platform, so it's not going to be like you're just trying to get through a maze.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it. I won't play it day one because of some other games, but I'm really excited for that one. Number 3 is Earthblade. This is the next game from the people that made Celeste. I'll be
Ooh,
honest, when I look at the trailers and stuff,
that's
I'm
right.
not hyped from what I see in the trailers, especially the way I saw Celeste. Graphically, it looks more like a Terraria. Nothing has really blown me away, but they made Celeste, so I'm going to freaking play Earthblade.
You're right.
Um,
I probably, yeah.
Basically it. Number 2 is Mina the Hollower. This is Yacht Club's, the Shovel Knight people. They never do anything bad. There's been nothing that's bad. Even their crappy Shovel Knight Showdown Smash 2D game, even though I didn't play it very much, it's done very well. So I should go back to that and play it, but nobody plays it. So what can you do? And the number 1 game that I'm hyped for this year, which is probably just something you forgot about, Hades 2. I,
Yes, I did forget
I
about it.
it's definitely, I don't know if it's confirmed to be released this year. It will go to
That's
early
the thing.
access this year.
Yeah,
But
there's
I
just
don't
not a
know
lot
if
about it
it'll,
yet. It's just
yeah, I don't know
early.
if it'll get a Switch release, but I anticipate it'll be out this year. So, super stoked for that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I forgot just because there's not a lot about it. We don't really know anything about it.
I
Hopefully
do
they
have a
don't try to
list.
deviate too much. That's my only concern.
I think with a lot of these, hype comes and goes. It doesn't mean you're committed. Earthblade could come out and be like, what the hell is this? But like, it's your hype right now for the game. Things change. And reviews can sway me too. If one of these games is like Lorelei and Laser Eyes is coming out and it gets terrible reviews, I might be like, well, I'll just skip it. It's you can only buy so many games. I have a top 10 list for PlayStation that I did on my other show, and I want to run through it. I won't talk too much about it. Number 10, this is PlayStation games. I think there might be there's a tiny bit of overlap here, but only 2 titles. Number 10, the casting of Frank Stone from the Supermassive Games people. Number 9, Persona 3 Reload, which is coming out fairly soon, within the month. I can't believe that's not on Switch. I don't understand why that's not coming to Switch. Number 8, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, which is probably where I'll play it. Number 7, No Rest for the Wicked. This is from the Ori people. So instantly it's on my
Yes, saw
radar.
that.
It looks interesting and
It
weird. I
does.
don't know much, but I'm really excited for that one. Number 6, and this is the next one that's coming out, The Last of Us 2 Remastered with the no return roguelike mode. I am day 1 for that one. I'm already pre-ordered. And that's why I'm not playing Prince of Persia day 1. Sorry, Ubisoft. Number 5, Star Wars Outlaws, which is again confirmed for this year. Number 4, Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. It's the Don't Nod people, and I'm so excited for that one. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is number 3. I wasn't going to play it day 1, but it's starting to get to me. It might be day 1. Number 2, Hades 2. And then number 1, by a landslide, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. I could not be more hyped for a game this year. Just a narrative game from Don't Nod. I watched the trailer over and over again. It looks incredible. The screenshots look incredible. Pictures look incredible. I can't wait. It's the next Life is Strange series. It looks so freaking good. But that's my PS5 list. So yeah, I won't play all these games either. I'm the same with you. It doesn't mean I'll play all these.
Yeah.
But they're the games I'm the most excited for.
Nice.
All right. 2024, everybody. Let's get to questions. I have 13 minutes for questions.
All right.
And then it's ribs time. But we got a ton of questions. Thank you, everybody. I was blown away by how many questions we got. Darth Platypus will kick us off. I'm looking forward to Mario versus Donkey Kong, Locomotive, and Plucky Squire. Those are the ones that come to mind. If you could pick a celeb to be the face of the Switch successor, who would you want to see? Darth Platypus, I will say right now, I did not expect the question to go in this direction after the first sentence, but here we are. True. If you could pick a celeb to be the face of the Switch 2.
I mean, it's go both ways, right? I mean, I try to be a female.
Gotta be a female.
I mean, why not, like, obviously answer, you know what I would think. But I'm going to change it up and say something like a Zoe Deschanel. I feel like she'd be
Really?
the winner there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that way.
She's too innocent. You need somebody like more
She's
like
adorable.
Mr. T.
My normal answer would be Anna Kendrick, of
Well, of course,
course.
that's what I was going to say, but I tried to.
Of course. But I brought this up this week. Kate Mara does not get enough love on this
Mm,
show. Kate Mara has that
I
adorkableness,
do like her.
and it very much fits the same kind of almost the same bill as Anna Kendrick, although I think Anna Kendrick is maximum adorkable. I'm going to say Kate Mara here because I think she just needs more representation. I absolutely love her and everything she does. She showed up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I was like, oh my god, was that the movie I was watching? I think that was. And I was like, oh, it's Kate Mara. I'm so excited.
Mm,
So
I'll go with her. I'll allow it.
yeah, Kate Mara. That's it.
Okay, she's the winner.
Bob Cousy, side boob or under boob?
Mm. I'm going to say if there's lingerie involved, then under boob. If it's nude, let's go side boob. That way you see the
Okay,
nipple. You know what I'm saying?
I love under boob. I think one of the hottest little looks is when the girls wear the little shirts and then
Yeah,
can't quite cover.
that's what I'm saying. Lingerie
I'm
is
a
perfect, or
under boob.
clothing under boob.
Okay. I do want to verify. I just looked it up because I was sure of it. Kate Mara is the
Hey, look up
one.
side boob.
I hope so. She's the one who gives Tony Stark a summons, a jury summons for
Oh yeah,
Congress.
yeah.
She's a
Okay.
U.S. Marshal in the car. He's actually hitting on her when she approaches, and he's like, "You want to come with me?" And she gives him the summons. So that's where she
Mm.
showed up. I'll try to work Kate Mara into every question from now on.
Okay.
Top Ranma. That name reminds me of Kate Mara. I'm most hyped about getting a PS5. So the games I'm hyped to play in 2024 will be last year's titles like Street Fighter 6 and Spider-Man 2. I do want to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Same here, pal. I never played the original. I'll take this one, sir. Spider-Man 2 was my PlayStation Game of the Year last year. It is fantastic. And Street Fighter 6, I definitely played a lot of. You'll enjoy that. Play with the kids. You should not play Rebirth unless you've played Remake, flat out. You need to play Remake first. And if you get a PlayStation 5 and join PS Plus Extra, you can play Remake for free. That's how I played it. It includes the DLC as well. So that could be your path if you want to play Remake and not buy it and then play Rebirth. But definitely you should play Remake for it. It is a direct continuation. This game is broken up into 3. It is not, you need to play. I don't know how they're going to handle the leveling in Rebirth after you've played Remake, but yeah, you've got a lot to catch up on if you get a PS5 this year. So yeah, you won't need to play anything new except for Rebirth. All right, good question. Top Ranma. Hambone. I've heard of that guy. What's Drew's... Okay, he's got a lot of questions. We'll just stop on each one here. What's Drew's next Luna game?
It's a great question. Like I said, maybe Skulls and Bones, but I think it might be too big. But maybe I'll play Prince of Persia there. But I do miss the Switch. I don't know yet. Hambone is a great question. I think that I have options, which is good, right? I think I actually have options of games that I want to play, which before I did not. I think the bigger question is: do I extend my Ubisoft subscription, or do I cancel it for now? I mean, it's month to month and do whatever time I want. So, great question. Don't have one set in stone. I think I need a little break from the Luna, go back to the Switch. I miss her, and we'll go from there.
I don't know if I could recommend Valhalla. Some people like it, some people don't like it.
I'm not going to dig into the Assassin's Creed. I didn't play one. Why start now? I think I missed out.
Mirage is a newer one and smaller as well, so maybe not so overwhelming. That could be one for you. Next question. Did John get a new desk pillow for Christmas? I'm about to reveal the answer. Is everybody ready? It's still avocado.
Avocado.
Yeah, I didn't. I was looking through some old photos I found in the basement, like printed old photos. And there was a picture of my ex-girlfriend sitting in my desk chair, and I had a desk pillow. This had to be 2001 because that's when we dated.
Hmm.
I was at her house when 9/11 happened, and I had a desk pillow. So I have always had a desk pillow, even if I never acknowledged it. Fantastic. Proven.
Hmm.
Assuming we'll get news on a new Nintendo console, we better. When do you think we'll hear something about it?
I'm going with a February direct for software games, and then I'm going to follow up with a March, maybe April announcement.
I'm right there with you, actually. I don't think we'll get one January, February, but I think spring, probably. I would, I would say after Showtime comes out,
Between March
and then
and May. Yeah,
it would come out holiday. I don't think you need as much lead time because I think this is just going to be a more powerful Switch that plays the same games. Maybe
agreed.
has more exclusives down the road every so often, just the way the new Nintendo 3DS happened, where some games will only be playable on a Switch too. But yeah, I think they're going to let Mario Donkey Kong run its course and Princess Peach. Once you announce it, sales for the Switch will drop because people will start waiting for the 2.
I don't think these games are selling Switches though. I think we will have a February direct that gives us dates on like we don't have a date on. We don't have a date on Luigi's Mansion.
Right. Yeah. It's just, I'm so there's so many remakes this year. The Switch is dead.
Too many. Agreed.
Just announce the Switch.
Well, they're saving all their good ideas, right?
I know,
Can
which
you
is
blame
fine.
them?
I want the new Mario game to be a Switch 2 launch title. It should be for Switch as well, but it should be fantastic on the Switch 2. And Mario Kart is being held off for Switch 2.
Yep.
Last thing he said was some games I'm hyped for. Hades 2. Yep. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yep. Plucky Squire. Right over there.
Yep.
And Pepper Grinder.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, a little bit.
I will say for a few days, Pepper Grinder was like number 10 on my hype list. I'm looking forward to that one as well. Max Power. With this hopefully being the year of the Switch 2. Are we seeing a trend? I think we're seeing a trend
Yes,
here.
we are. People want it.
With this hopefully being the year of the Switch 2, are there any games you dropped due to performance issues that you are planning to go back to? With more processing power, will games just automatically perform better, or will they require an update to take advantage of the new processor? That's
It's
an
a great
excellent question.
It's a great
And
question.
I'm glad you brought it up because I don't think a lot of people are aware that some games will perform better, but a lot of times when games are made, they do what's called they lock the frame rate. And the reason why is because if you don't lock the frame rate, there could be parts of the game where the frame rate hits 60 because you're in this tiny space with not many things, and then you leave that space and it drops way down. So by limiting the frame rate, you don't get the variances, which can become very noticeable and annoying. So there are games that are locked to 30 frames per second that would need to be unlocked. The problem is you can't just go and unlock it. You need to test the game and make sure that those variances don't happen. So you're going to have a bunch of games that just never update. I'll tell you this, the original from the Tomb Raider trilogy, the reboot, that first game took years and years and years to unlock on Xbox. Because I remember when I bought it, I was disappointed that it was 30 frames a second, even though I was buying it on a freaking Series X. So it was like, but then they eventually did unlock it. So you're going to see that.
Well said. Well said. That couldn't have said it better myself, Chet. I mean, that's why your knowledge is here, and I'm here for the ride.
I'm a programmer, man. I will say I made a little less Pokemon Violet. I'm still probably not going to go back to that one, but that would be a game that would really benefit from better performance. Age of Calamity, which my co-host 100%ed because he's a masochist. That is the game that I point to the most as a game that could really benefit. In fact, I might play through that again. The performance was so lousy. I feel like I didn't truly enjoy the experience. I would probably play through it again to see it in real motion. I mean, my God, that game had so many performance issues. It was crazy. Persona 5 Strikers is a game I haven't played yet on Switch because I'm afraid of that sort of thing. I would probably play through that again. Or play through that finally. Just been a while. One game that really could benefit from performance, and it wasn't just the Switch. I played this on Xbox, and it also chugged a little bit, but it wasn't as bad. Rhyme. Did anybody remember Rhyme? Do you remember
I remember
Rhyme?
that game. Yeah.
That game was maybe not the best game I ever played, but what an ending it had. Cried till the cows came home. I would love to see that game improved by a Switch too. I don't think they will ever update it. I just get the feeling they've moved on from it. But what do you do? What are you going to do? How much time are you going to spend updating Rhyme for Switch 2? Who's going to buy it these days?
No one.
So a lot of these games will not be updated, but I think Age of Calamity will. I could definitely see Nintendo remarketing that game again. Okay, good question though, Max Power. Hoots. Right now, 2024 feels like a good backlog year to me.
Agreed.
I'm hyped to play Cocoon, Dave the Diver, and Sea of Stars, courtesy of the Dad's After Dark show.
Ooh.
That's right. Yeah, I got Hoots Sea of Stars code for our Presents After Dark. That's a good set of games. I'm actually, I tried the Dave the Diver demo for just a little bit. It didn't like fully grab me. Everyone talks great about that game. My friend Clint absolutely adores the thing. I feel like I just need to play it. Same thing with Dredge. I just need to play it and just trust that I will enjoy it. So that could be a 2024 game for me. And Cocoon, I'll be honest, I'm kind of waiting for it to just go to PS Plus so I can play it for free. Because it's one of those games you're probably just going to play one time, and I don't like buying those games all the time. Those are the ones that I just don't put the money into. What about you?
I mean,
you said you feel about backloggy this year.
Well, yeah. I mean, I already think I started showing it. I mean, with Silent Hope, even Untitled Goose Game. I do have a Cat Quest 2 purchased. Never played it yet. Who knows? Once I want to go back and play that. What else was there? Well, I guess Sonic Superstars is kind of a backlog, kind of not, but I want to play that one. Dredge interests me, but I don't know if I there's too many other things I want to play right now. But yeah, I think those are the key ones that are sticking out at me.
As for games, this is Hoots again. As for games that aren't out yet, I'm holding out hope that Metroid Prime 4 and Silk Song are out this year. But I've got to pick something that is actually confirmed. Plucky Squire looks good too. Silk Song absolutely has to come out this year. I am not convinced of Metroid Prime 4. I think that's going to be a Switch 2 only game. And Silk Song will come out this year, but I am so mad at that team. Like, it is ridiculous how long this game. And what is this game going to be? This game better be something special. That's the only thing I see for it. It's going to be something so mind-blowingly good. And we're going to go, that's why we waited so long. But if this is just another Metroidvania that plays like Hollow Knight, no matter how good the game is, it's going to leave people with that feeling of, why did I have to wait this long for this?
Yep.
So I'm kind of worried about that one, but hopeful at the same time, if that makes sense. If David's PS5 has a baby and it falls into my lap, both Final Fantasy VII Remake games will probably be finished by the end of the year, as will God of War Ragnarok. You should ask this question again after the alleged February Nintendo Direct. I don't know if that's much of a question, but Final Fantasy VII is astounding. I really hope that comes to Switch in some form, cloud or otherwise. It's really good. I actually might get to Ragnarok this year as well. All right, and then we have Hambone with the last question of the day. Xbox has made a Series X fridge and a Series S toaster now. What totally not needed home appliance should Nintendo put out in the shape of a Switch?
Oh, I'm gonna go with a robot vacuum, and it's gonna go into its like,
I don't know. Those are usually round.
Goes into its dock. Like it's going into its dock to charge itself.
Yeah, because they dock themselves, right?
Yeah, and then it's just going around the floor with a little Joy-Con type. Yeah.
It's difficult with the Switch, but I'm thinking like a cutting board. Just want a Switch cutting board.
Very different.
Because they have
there.
Yeah, some of them have handles on the side, so this one should have two handles and be longer, and I can just cut. I can
see
cut
like the cutting boards that have like the little secret drawers under them.
Yeah, no, I haven't. But
yeah,
you just keep them on the counter, I assume.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Just-
Cutting boards are weird to me because you always hear about they're just contaminated, and the plastic ones are bad because you cut into them and they get moldy and this, and it's like, okay, I guess. I mean, everything's going to kill you at this point. I mean, what am I
Agreed.
going to do? I can't buy a new cutting board every month. There's no disposable cutting boards. Do whatever. I don't know what to do. Fine. I'll die by mold.
Yeah, same. Well,
Probably why everyone gets cancer, I guess.
from cutting boards, you've heard it here first, folks.
It's probably something stupid. It's either the wireless in the
Yep.
atmosphere or something like people using cutting boards, because everyone uses cutting boards and everyone gets cancer.
Sure.
And nobody's gonna if you get a disease, they'll ask you, what have you done recently or whatever. No one's gonna say,
You're
well,
gonna
I
say-
cut some chicken.
Cut some chicken up.
Everybody has.
Well, with that, that's wrapping up our first episode of the year, John. You've heard it here, folks. Cutting boards equal cancer. John,
Maybe
what
that's
do
the
we-
title.
What do we have coming up the next few weeks?
Yeah, 2024 doesn't let up over the next few weeks. We got stop selecting them. I can't read them.
I'm sorry.
Prince of-
I doodle them. I was looking at.
You're like,
one.
what is this?
I forget what that one was.
Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown comes out first, January. It's actually January 15th, but if you pay $10 extra, you get that 15th date. If you pay $10 less, you can play Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown on January 18th. Turnip Boy. Turnip Boy robs a bank. I wasn't way off. Turnip Boy robs a bank also comes out January 18th. I love the titles of those games.
I'm kind of intrigued by this game.
Yeah, he's done tax evasion. I think there was one other one. Turnip Boy just seems like an ass.
It kind of reminds you of like Enter the Dungeon.
Yeah, it's definitely that kind of action. All of these games come out within one day of each other. Another Code Recollection comes out January 19th. That's 2 games in one. It's a full price game, $60. But this dad is waiting for a sale on that one. And then for the PlayStation fans, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered comes out January 19th as well. Look at these 4 games coming out, the 18th and the 19th. Fantastical. Love it.
Lovely.
Congratulations, Drew, on making it through with COVID. An
I feel a little
hour and a
better.
half.
Yes, I wasn't sure. I do feel better than I did yesterday, so thank you,
And
John.
he did cough a lot. He muted. I definitely see some coughing, but I think you've avoided coughing on the show.
I tried. The nice easy mute button helps.
And an answer to our trivia question: what do Avatar, Bluey, and Sonic Superstars have in common?
All blue.
They're all blue.
All blue.
It's a blue phase for you, man.
It is a blue face.
Go with the blue.
That's it.
All right, enjoy the Patriots' last game of the year.
I will. In the snow against the Jets.
In the snow. They're playing in New England?
Yeah.
Wow.
Still
That's got to
coming
be a
down.
miserable game. I mean, you want to lose. Just let the Jets win, man.
Belichick's possible last game as a Patriot.
It probably is, but
Yep.
lose it, man. Lose it. It's better to lose. Root for them, but hope that they lose in the same time.
Let's put it this way. I will not be betting on them.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No.
In the snow, the Jets in New England, it's all about who cares the most in the locker room, and you just can't know. It's not about talent. It's the last game of the year. Nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to go into the offseason injured. People have contracts. There's no winning. There's no playoffs on the line. It's going to be an unmotivated game.
Correct.
So
Buffalo
you can't bet on that.
Buffalo Miami game should be good though.
That should be a really good game. Texans are in. I think is it between the Steelers and the Bills now? I think it's between
Yes,
the Steelers and the Bills.
The Steelers won, so I think the Bills have to lose now. I don't know
think
what
if the Bills win, they're in, but if they lose, the Steelers are in. I don't know though.
Yeah, something like
we'll
that.
find out today.
Yep.
Good luck, Rizzle 29. Go beat those Dolphins. I'm not a big Dolphins fan.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
All right, everybody.
Alrighty.
Next episode in the books. We have a lot more topics for you next week. We pushed a lot because Drew is he's hurting, man. Look at him. He's hurting. He is hurting. But thankfully you asked us a lot of questions, so filled in the day. Go Chubbies.
Go Chubbies.
We're going to be doing updates every episode, so go Chubbies. I'm rooting for you. And that's it.
Sounds good.
Good night, Dads.
Peace.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available. If you're listening through Apple or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. It helps us promote our show, and we'd be grateful to hear your feedback. Check us out on Threads and Instagram at NDadsAfterDark. Send us a question to dadsafterdarkshow@gmail.com, and we'll read it on the show. Or if you want to hear yourself on the show, leave us a voicemail. See the episode description for a link to do that. Be sure to join us on Discord in our Dads After Dark channels. That's where we chat. You can participate in our monthly Mayhem contests, plus other activities such as Chubbies and so on. You can get access by joining the Nintendo Dads Patreon or by subscribing to their Twitch channel. A big thank you to Family Jewels for the show's music. Check out their YouTube to hear other awesome Nintendo cover tunes.